We all saw the hawk down,
Lyles tries to reel him in.
the stare down,
Is to make sure that he asserts his dominance.
the push, and the exchange. And opinions are split. But I'll tell you right now, this isn't just track beef, it's track spice. First, let's break down the race. Bednarek is in the shape of his life. He's hot off a 9.79, and he makes it known, eating Lyles on the curve. And pausing this race into the straight, he's got a clear lead on not only Noah, who's off his form, not even having broke 10 seconds this year, but Lindsay, Coleman, and McCallum, who just came off 9.8s themselves. If Bednarek can't close this race now while holding all the cards, how's he supposed to do it in a month's time against a peak Noah Lyles?
If they ain't gonna beat me now, they ain't gonna beat me ever.
Bednarek, as Noah Lyles tries to reel him in. Lyles slightly ahead and looks over and says, I'm still the world champion.
This is Noah's return to form for 2025, and he drops 1963, hawking down one of history's best 200 meter runners, hot off a huge 100 meter PB. And my first thought is, I don't know how after this race you could possibly think Lyles didn't have COVID in Paris. This is what he does in the 200 meter. Bar sickness, like last time, he is taking gold this year. Write that one down as fact for me. Now let's talk about the spice. The stare down was icy. Unlike when he pointed at Knighton with a cheeky smile at the 2022 US champs, this was almost a death stare. Then came the shove. And the exchange of words. Somehow, people argued the shove was justified, a heated moment where Lyles was asking for it, some even saying Lyles ran in his lane, but I've already showed you. Bednarek did a beeline straight for Noah. He got his ass 2 lanes over just to get that push in. And then in the exchange you could hear Noah mention expecting an apology. But why? From an outside perspective, this altercation could be chalked up to a heated race where Bednarek felt frustrated and Lyles got in his head. That's nothing really new to sport, but from the whispers of the internet, it goes deeper than that. I try to keep off-track drama and nonsense out of my videos, but it's kind of become on-track now.
No, I'm saying if you got a problem, I expect a problem, that's all I'm saying.
You know what? You're right.
Kenny and or his girlfriend had allegedly been running a Twitter account called Track Spice, which seemed harmless. The account primarily shared results, with a side of occasionally bad-mouthing other athletes, with tweets that were a bit too specific for a fan uninvolved with elite track. From my memory, and now confirmed by another Twitter gremlin buddy of mine, it was mainly pretty tame stuff. Some second-hand examples were trolling Noah about his Paris COVID race, who didn't do that, taking his interview clips out of context, instigating some controversy about his fiancée, and also posting an image of Gabby Thomas while asking 50,000 or a date with her. That one's really weird. Again, nothing super outlandish, kind of just like schoolboy behavior. I didn't even blink twice because I thought it was just some other Twitter rando. But for it to allegedly be Bednarek and his girlfriend's burner, while playing friends on the side, makes it really weird and slimy.
That's it. There's not unsportsmanlike shit, and I don't deal with that.
Funnily enough, Gabby Thomas was actually the one who soft-outed him, and the account swiftly got scrubbed. And that's basically it. It's really not that crazy, not that deep if you consider what other sports people have done, but a bit underhanded, and makes a shove look really unhinged. Also back to business, shout out to Robert Gregory and Lindsay for getting on that team in the background. Let's contextualize this race. At the starting line, we have Bryce Hoppel, the American 800 meter record holder, Josh Hoey, the second fastest American ever, and Brazier, the 2019 world champion and third fastest American ever. Plus, as a bit of a shock entry, 16-year-old Cooper Lutkenhaus, who was genuinely just happy to be there after a semi-final he called his final.
This was my final. Now I'm going to go see what I can do in 2 days.
Cooper, you have a driver's license.
So in the battle of American giants and a schoolboy, running a blistering opening lap of 49 seconds, that's a comical 1:38 pace, Lutkenhaus was being strung along in 7th, well out of contention, but since the race is so fast, he's still on diabolical pace to run a new high school record. So here I am, focused on Brazier. I doubted his comeback all season, but he looked pretty good in the semis. Wait, wasn't Lutkenhaus in 7th? Okay, firstly, congrats to Brazier on a superb comeback from injury and a new personal best since his World Champs win in 2019. But I'm sorry, Lutkenhaus closing like a damn laser beam on America's 3 fastest half-milers ever just stole the show completely, the clock flashing 142s for all 2.5 men. And real quick, the meeting record before this was a 142.77. If you can't tell, all 3 podium finishers stomped it. Naturally, this was the hardest Team USA spot any 800 meter athlete has had to work for, and Lutkenhaus, a 16-year-old sophomore, made it with room to spare. But what does 142.27 for a 16-year-old actually mean? Because frankly, if you're not a middle distance fan, it can easily get lost in translation. The World Athletics Championship was founded in 1983, and since then, we've seen the world's best come together to fight for gold 19 times. Lutkenhaus's time would have won gold at every single World Championship final. Just marinate in that for a second. A few videos ago, I did this same comparison with 17-year-old Tate Taylor's 9.92 in the 100 meters, another time we'd never seen before. He would have won about 30% of World Championship finals. That's the difference we're talking about here, and Taylor's a year older. Maybe even more baffling, if we were to directly translate his performance using the World Athletics point scale, 142.27 is equivalent to a 100 meter time of 9.84, 200 meter of 19.75, 400 meter of 43.88, and a mile of 3 minutes 45.6 seconds. That would fit him somewhere in between Niels Laros and Josh Kerr on the all-time list. And even then, here's some track statisticians page saying my basic conversions are too conservative. This was more than just a youth world record. We've seen a lot of those over the past 2 years, especially in sprinting. Now, this was easily the most impressive time we've ever seen by a youth athlete ever.
Frazier and the high schooler and Hoppel.
Kind of just decided to go back to middle school tactics and kind of 200 to go, just really give everything I had left.
Unbeknownst to us, Gabby Thomas, Olympic champion and Twitter police, has been dealing with some Achilles issues. Her semi-final made that very clear. So what was originally a matchup between her and Melissa Jefferson Wooden? Instead, Jefferson Wooden would run away with her new 10.65 foot speed, while Thomas was left floundering for her life, finding herself in a dead heat.
Thomas trying to get in the mix, but she will not, and Melissa.
And the Olympic champion is looking up at the board to see if she has made the team to Tokyo, and she has.
Genuinely, this felt a bit scripted. All 3 of them separated by only 0.002 seconds. Realistically though, I'm glad Gabby made it and still has a month to get into form. Otherwise the world champs really might just be Jefferson and Alfred fighting over the double. The men's 110 hurdles also featured drama. Since Holloway has the wildcard spot as defending champion, we'd get a shock champ in 19-year-old Jacoby Tharp from lane 1.
As in the middle of the track they're down, but it is also Tinch, and on the inside Jacoby Tharp.
And this was a supremely impressive race. The American champs are basically a life or death race, and he runs 13.01, a new personal best. Literally his finest race, the only athlete in this field to go cleanly over every single hurdle. And Cordell Tinch took a comfy second, and Dylan Baird, also known as Walmart Man, made his first Team USA. And here's a funny tidbit. Some people lie when they say it's their dream to become a pro athlete. Just look at a thing Mo. But not Dylan Baird. This man has traveled the entire globe this year, running a whopping 36 races in 31 weeks. Honestly, with that many races, you wouldn't think this guy would still be walking, let alone making Team USA. And since we're talking field, of course we have to switch to the bootleg Russian stream. The men's shot put was really exciting. Well, what I got to watch of it anyway. Early on, Joe Kovacs had the lead with a 22.07 meter effort on a second attempt. Keep in mind, this is the second farthest shot putter in history and a man who has medaled at every global championship since 2015. In round 4, Paperi would slip past him with a new personal best of 22.29 meters, continuing his fantastic breakout season. So heading into the final round, the standings had Paperi in first, with 36-year-old Kovacs in second. A pretty strong position considering 22 meter throws aren't easy to come by. Or at least they're not supposed to be. In his final effort, Awatunde would find his first 22 meter throw in 2 years, and a 20 centimeter personal best at that, and Awatunde would find himself in first place. Then Orodol, the very next attempt, almost replicates Awatunde with a Goliath 22.35 meter throw, that moving him into second. So Kovacs, with the very last throw of the competition, after 10 years of medals, just out of reach, both in his final attempt and the 4th place finish, missing his first Team USA since 2013. Krauser's hurt, Kovacs eliminated, Tom Walsh aging out. Slowly we're seeing the end of a shot put golden age. And lastly, I feature Vallarie Allman whenever I can, because she's doing in the discus what McLaughlin does over the 400 hurdles. So let's make this fun. How far do you think she won the USA Champs from, keeping in mind the 2023 World Champion is also out there? That's right, 7 meters. She won by 7 meters, and every single one of her throws would have won the competition. She also threw her furthest in-stadium throw of 71.45 meters. Some would probably call this the real world record. And I didn't even get to feature a single jump. Barely got to see any if I'm honest. Man, I miss the simpler days of watching the high jump only streams back in 2021. See y'all next time.